Okay, so the hat qual things, they've been changed recently, like as in basically the last month, right? I added to it. So a couple things on that. Once I was introduced to the bullseye, again, back, that kind of was in the SEAL team days. We were still doing that. I just, at BW, we started messing around with, like, do we really need, and again, for some of the listeners, just so you're tracking, that stuff was based on 10 rounds in 10 minutes, slow fire from 25, right? CMP type, NRA CMP type competition, which I used to do that as well. And along the way, I started thinking, man, like, you look at the score, data return, right? Okay, this is what I scored. This is what I scored. This is what I score. And, one day I was just like, what if I shoot it like not 10 rounds into what if I shoot 10 rounds in 5 minutes? Well, look, same score, 1 point off, 2 points off, right? And just keep working it down. I'm like, well, I really don't need 10 minutes. If I take 10 minutes, I'm still going to shoot a 93. And it took me 10 minutes. Like I could have been doing something else, right? And so over time, I figured this out to the point where, and I've told people this before, and I definitely would not mention names here, but like there's a couple guys in the industry who were like, well, you're not going to be able to do that. Like, 10 rounds in 20 seconds. Like there's no way, like kind of thing. And I'm thinking, well, I do it all the time. I have figured out a way with my grip and my trigger and the way I'm looking at sights to do it. And I told this guy, I was like, it can't be done or you can't teach it. Which one is it? There's a big difference there, right? And so that's kind of how that developed. And of course, right as I got done with that, I did one for carbine. And the purpose of all those was, if we're looking at that magical kind of quote unquote far distance, 100 yards for carbine, 25 for pistol. And if I had to do it now, it might be a little bit different for carbine because the LPVO is so prevalent. But back then, iron sights is still a lot of things, especially for LE guys, and maybe a red dot, unmagnified. So those things were like I realized this is a very quick way that I can tell if a guy understands real fundamentals of fast and accurate shooting combined. Because his positioning, his mounting of the gun, his grip with a pistol, or how he's mounting a carbine, it cannot be compromised. Like in 14 seconds for the rifle, and then 20 for irons with the pistol. Also, he's going to understand recoil control. He's going to understand resetting on recoil. He's going to in some capacity have to know how to track his sights in recoil, no matter if he's using an iron, a dot, or a reticle. So that's kind of how that came about. Which is funny because like it's not like something I don't hang my hat on, but like nobody shot bullseyes fast before me. Like I'm the guy. Nowadays, and then that's why the tests had to change, because you can't swing a dead cat now on Instagram without hitting somebody who's like shooting a bull fast. So literally in the past few years, when I started this almost, I guess, 10 plus years ago, the speed shooting for accuracy, you might give one hat away a class, maybe two. Dude, like last year, I'm out of hats, bro. Like, literally we can't make enough. Like it's a 14-man class and I'm giving away 8, 10, 12. So I'm like, okay. So the shooting industry has kind of caught up now. Everybody's getting it. And especially when the red dot came in, because obviously it's way easier with a red dot. How much easier? 25%, right? That's why a red dot time at 25 yards with the bull is 15 seconds instead of 20. So that's how that kind of came in. The scoped one was because the prevalence of 5.56, both Army and Navy side in SOCOM for the war, that was the number one for most of the scope guys. Yes, we carried bigger rifles at some point, but like the quote unquote Mark 12 or some kind of variant of that was the most famous. So when we look at it, and like this would be a thing Christian can tell you because he just came off of a scope class, like a 5.56 rifle past 400, you're getting into, if I give you an E-type silhouette, yes, okay, not, but I know what kill zone is on a man. You're going to have a wind call at 400. You can pull off 3 without a wind call for typically, but you're going to have one at 400. And the ability of that shooter to do that out of his own scope, it is possible. It takes obviously some time. So the scoped one is standing to prone. You have BC steel at 100, 200, 300, and 400. And I try to make it not crazy angles, nothing crazy. Like we wouldn't want one at like, left side berm, right side berm. So you're like, and the point is to do that all in holds, right? With a Horus type reticle or some type of, reticle that's famous now for that. So you drop in the prone, 1 round at 100, 1 round at 2, 1 round at 3, 1 round at 4. No dial. You can dial. I tell guys in the open enrollment, you can dial if you want. Military guys, no dial, hold only, and no makeup shots. 1 shot on each, sub 20 seconds. Again, people are like, "Well, that sounds easy." And I mean, it is easy if you're in a tunnel and there's no wind. You know what I mean? And I told these guys in the class, like the scoped rifle I did before this, one guy, it was so funny. I was running all 14 through it, timing each guy individually. The wind's 10 to 15, bro. So we're holding like mil and a half at 400 when it's gusting to 15. And then this guy gets up there, the wind completely stops. He drops, and he does it in like 12.5. I think I did it in like 15 or something. And he gets up and he's like, well, that wasn't hard. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, war gods were looking down on you, my friend. Like, but so some of those tests, like the pistol specifically, there was a unit that asked me to do something. They're like, hey, man, 60-round shooting test. Like, we're deploying. We ain't got time for that kind of stuff, right? They're like, can you come up with something quick, like whatever? If you look at all my shooting tests online, and they're all on the website, they were all developed for specific units by request for certain things. And I'll tell you, man, if a guy can pull off that bullseye thing with a pistol, I mean, he's at more than 50% there as far as being a complete pistol shooter, But, of course, I added a draw stroke, a low ready, and a bill drill now just because can't make that many hats. But it's good to me. Hey, listen, in 2 years from now, if the shooting public is like, again, we're having the majority of the class, okay, well, I'm not going to run out of shit. I got more shit to do that I can add to it, change it. But that's kind of how that developed.
Nice.